So as you guys mentioned, Pastor Jamie opened up the video to today's message about sharing the vision and how the summit as a whole, not just the summit Sault Ste. Marie, but the summit Echo Bay and also the summit online is a church for all people. Is so that God can guide us to an elevated life. We believe that God guides us to an elevated life, and the mission and the vision of the summit is that exact thing. Is we want to help guide people to an elevated life, and that it goes here in house, those online, and every single person that we interact with, both in this building and outside of this building. And so that is our vision of the summit and our heart for Echo Bay specifically. Since the very beginning, when me and Jamie had first met and talked about what the Echo Bay campus to be, even before the amalgamation on January 1st, we talked about one word, and it was the word hope. Our heart is that there will be hope at this campus. What does that mean? That simply means that everything that we do, like I said, it brings glory to God. But everything we do is for the people who are already meeting here, which was formerly Echo Bay Community Church and formerly Full Gospel Country Church. We want to honor and give you guys the honor for maintaining it. Like, you guys really did a great job these past years, and we want to honor your guys' leadership, your servant leadership. But our hope is that the hope was not to close the doors, but it was to help build this church within this community, within this region, and to reestablish a vision and rebirth a mission. And the mission, it's twofold. It's twofold. Think about it like this: Christ's bride, the church. The church, and people think about the church lower C, and people think of the church big C, if you may. And what is the difference between little c and big C? Is this little c, Christ's church, is the building. Church is the building, but Christ's bride isn't restricted to a building, and that's the thing, and that's our hope, is that as we grow in this building as a congregation, as a campus, that God's church will begin to grow, big C, way beyond just this location, but this township, this region as a whole, because we want to be respectful for those who don't actually live in the town, which is everyone in this room,
so that's
including us.
We
want to reach out to the region, and we want to share today what that looks like. What does that look like? And there's some practical elements for this building, but then there's also practical elements that will help us as we continue to grow our reach and our outreach, as we serve this community, as we serve this region as a whole. So that's our heart. Our hearts of Echo Bay is that we don't be restrained by these four walls of this church, but we begin to grow into the community, into the region, into the lives everywhere around us, so that ultimately we can guide people to an elevated life. Because we are a church where all people belong. We're a church where all people belong. Because Christ's blood is for everybody. It's for everybody without conditions. And so that is the heart of Echo Bay. And Tia, I believe you had number 3, right?
Yeah.
The reasons why we want to do some updates?
Yeah. Just echoing what Dan said, we're new here, we're new to Echo Bay, we're new to this church, but it's you guys who have been attending faithfully for years now, some of you, and we want to honor you in this process. Yeah, this room will look different, but as Dan said, we're not confined to this church. Our hope is that, we'll reach this region, we will grow. That's the reason why we want to do some of this updating, so when people come, they feel comfortable, they feel like they're a part of our family, they're a part of this family, that they're comfortable with it. And, I'm just so excited what God has in store for all of us here. Because we see you guys as family, as our church family. We're not just here as campus pastors 1 to 2 times a week. We want to walk with you guys. We want to work with you guys on, not just this renovation, but in the future on outreach. And, our hearts isn't just focused on outreach. We do want to get into the community. We do want to get into the region. But we also want to focus on our family inside as well. So that means doing things to help support you guys, to help you grow in your faith as well. So really, we want to create an environment where you guys are comfortable, where you guys are honored, but also an environment where we can make the people of Echo Bay, the people who Christ died for, feel so at home and so a part of this family. So just some proposed updates. As mentioned, we won't be taking questions at the end of this because we want you to write them down, really sit on them, think things through. We will have the Zoom call on Wednesday, which we will send out details. If you're not able to attend, that's 100% okay. The reason why we're not doing it today is because Pastor Jamie wanted to be here with us, but their second service is still going on at the Sioux campus. So just out of respect for your time, and like Dan said, since we can't serve food, this was kind of our best option. So if you can't attend, we will give you a phone call. We can chat about anything, address any concerns you have. Maybe you have some ideas. That would be, everything would be fantastic. So let's get started just to respect your time, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So the first one is just simply repaint this black wall. So currently, when I first came here, I already thought it was black, but apparently it's more of an espresso color. So it will just be like slightly darker. As you can see in the picture, it's just to mimic the Sioux campus. We just want to make more of our campuses similar, so regardless of which one you attend, you kind of get the same feeling and that kind of thing. And as Dan mentioned, this is being recorded, and we will...
Right on cue.
We will send out this slideshow so you guys can look at it as well, just in case you are more of a visual person while digesting some things. Secondly, we want to, these side panels here, starting at behind this second window, we want to paint what's called a designer white. So it's technically a white, but it has a lot of gray undertone. We tried to get a picture of it, as you guys can see there. But it was a little bit difficult. So we'll try to get you a little bit of a better picture.
It's not a cold looking gray.
No.
It's
inviting.
It's inviting. Like I was looking at it in the office last night, and I'm like, I don't feel like I'm in a jail cell or a hospital. Like it's actually like comforting, Like it's not cold. It's a warm kind of night.
Yeah, and we don't want to. Of course, when you're in a smaller space, you don't want to make things too dark because then you feel confined and just the room is small. So this will actually brighten up the space. Next, replace the old lighting fixtures with some pot lights. These lights are actually a natural light, so it'll make the outside seem inside. We do recognize that these chandeliers are original to the building. So we'll be not just tossing them. If anyone wants them for sentimental reasons, then you can take some. To preserve some of the heritage, we were thinking of keeping the one that is in the atrium/foyer. They're hanging above the stairs. Because part of this, we do want to honor the heritage of this building as well.
They are the original.
Pardon? Oh, we were told they were original, that's why. Okay, I take that back. But we still want to honor it.
We lost 3 people when we put them in because they weren't bright enough.
Oh, gotcha. The joys, hey?
But yes, comments, questions, and concerns at a later date, but that is good to know.
That's a good one for this, yes. So we were told just last week that, behind these tapestries is an old stained glass, is that correct? Yes. So they shut it up because there was some leaking and that kind of thing. But we thought it'd be really cool to see what it would take to reveal the stained glass again. to get some more natural light in that way. If not, our plan is to hang the cross back there. If we do reveal the stained glass, then we'll move the cross from this corner and just put it in this one after this is all cleaned out. Because we do want to keep the cross up front, so you guys can see that there. Next, we're going to replace this carpet. It says black, but it's going to be kind of a gray black, so it's not like super dingy or anything like that. Just kind of to bring everything together, the design-wise. Yeah.
Is it another carpet you're replacing it with?
Oh, right. I know.
He was about to
He was. So it's something called tile carpet. So it is carpet, and the reason why it's going to be carpet is because it does help absorb the sound, so the room's not super echoey. But A, it's stain resistant, and B, if anything does get spilt on it, we can literally just take up the tile and throw it in the washing machine and then replace it. So it's good for that, and it's super easy to install, so we wouldn't have to pay anyone to come install it, which is also a really nice thing. There's kind of two versions, a sticky back one or one with glue. I don't have a picture for you because we are still trying to figure out which one we're going with. The next is to take down the projector. Obviously we've moved to the TV, so we're just going to get that out of the way in that. Next, we are going to replace, wanting to replace the back doors there with a barn door. So this is kind of a twofold. It's so we can have handrails on the sides and just open it up a little bit more, but also just so it's easy just to slide out and over. So it won't be exactly this one at all. This isn't the one we're ordering, but we're having someone in the Sioux campus actually build it custom for us. So it could be literally any color we want because it's just going to be made out of wood, and then it'll slide back and forth. And it'll be one panel, not two. And the reason why we're not having two is because there is electrical there, we can't slide it, unfortunately. So we're gonna replace the old spots with new ones. Just a little something, I kind of circled the picture there. It's these brass ones right here. Having colored lights just kind of shining across the back, so it won't be super bright. If you remember from the first picture, it was kind of bright just underneath there, but it'll just be to bring a little bit of color to the back wall since it will be black. So we don't have the lights or the colors right now, but it'll just be traveling in the directions that the arrow is showing. So we're just doing some research to see what this can look like and what this will be. Next is doing a similar mountain design below the TV as our Sioux campus. As mentioned, it's just to make the campuses similar, so no matter what campus you are attending, it has the same feel. New coffee station. So this one,
Luke's pride to do it.
yes, and coffee is something we obviously want to get back to. We just can't right now. So in our hopes and growing, we know that the coffee corner out there will become congested. So we want to get something portable on wheels that we can just bring in here for you guys, for whoever would like to enjoy the coffee. And it's this style, so we can have the cream and sugar and everything. It's not too crowded. And we'll just have thermoses. Okay. And then future updates. So this one, this is my last part, then I'll turn it over to Dan. This is something I am very excited about. So when we first came to this building, there's a lot of things that we talked about, as Dan was mentioning, about the new hope and that kind of thing. But the one thing that I did notice, because our tagline is a church for all people, the one thing I did notice was that it's not accessible. So anyone in a wheelchair, with a cane, with a walker, you're not able to get into the building if you have trouble with stairs. So upon doing some research, because we were talking and we're like, you know, it'd be so cool to make this building accessible, to really be a church for all people. And so in doing some research, we actually found out that there's a government grant that will pay for pretty much anything that you do, up to a certain amount, of course, accessibility-wise. So our hope, and it won't happen this year, because we can't, I keep turning that the application process isn't until June to July. But our vision is that we will have a washroom, an accessible washroom off of the main room, just in that back corner there. And then yes, because the plumbing's already there. So we would take out one washroom of the smaller washrooms and use that space as the accessibility room. It will just kind of be elevated. So we'll lose a little bit of the space there. But in my opinion, I think that it's worth it if we're making it more accessible for everyone. And the next thing is the accessibility door with a ramp. So the door will either be kind of placed where that window is, or maybe one of these two. The reason why we will place one of the windows is because we won't have to engineer such a big beam to support the load of the roof. So it'll save us a lot of money in the long run. So that's kind of future updates for this space right here. Like I said, I'm super excited about this. Really cool that we're able to get a grant to cover everything.
Okay, so the atrium, which is a really weird word, but it's a word that we use at the STU campus, and it's like what is often known as a foyer or a lobby. We just wanted the same language across the board as the summit as a whole. But I mean, I even catch myself calling it the lobby, the foyer, the front porch, the atrium. So yeah, we have some ideas that we want to implement there. The first one, like in here, we want to sand down the brown paneling and make it the same kind of warm gray that we were talking about, just for consistency throughout the building, and now match the color in the picture. And then beyond that is the center rail. I do know in discussion with you two, Ray and Judy, that center rail can actually be removed in the case of if there was a funeral for a coffin, or if you're moving something larger than the area given, you can take that rail out. Our goal is, especially with the barn door, is to take that rail out so that everybody will be able to, who is able to utilize stairs, will be able to come up without feeling claustrophobic and feeling like they're going to fall off the side. And we're going to put side rails instead, just for safety purposes of that. And so we're going to take out the center rail, but we're not quite sure of what style yet to put in for a rail. And so that is something that we're going to continue exploring. And then we're going to replace the green carpet that is on the stairs, both on the small steps right there, as well as going down into the basement. We're playing with the idea of possibly just continuing the carpet tile that we're going to have here, because it's spill resistant, it's stain resistant, and we can pull it up and wash it if need be, because let's be honest, kids spill a lot. I spill a lot too. I am not innocent. Sometimes I fill my coffee cup up way too much, and I get overzealous, I get excited, and it's all on the floor, and I have to clean up a mess. So yes, spill-resistant tile is key. And then in the bathrooms, I mean, those have probably the paper towel dispensers has probably been there for a long time. With COVID, kind of pushing things into wanting to be hands-free and whatnot. We at the STU campus, we just installed some hands-free paper towel dispensers, and they're decent price, and you don't have to touch them. They'll dispense the paper towel, and then you just rip it. And so yeah, it's hands-free, and you don't have to worry if you can't get that paper towel because it gets sucked back up. And that happened to me this morning. It rolled back up, and then you have to open it and just to rewire all the paper towels. So this one, it just automatically dispenses, and you just rip it and go from there. Following that, as we mentioned, that coffee corner, we want to bring the coffee area into here, just because it gets really claustrophobic there. And so we want to kind of make a welcome desk. Especially for those who are new to the church, we want to say, hey, welcome to the Summit Echo Bay. We have a special something for you, for just attending and being with us. And then also, it's going to be twofold. It's also, we want it to be a Summit Kids check-in system. when we have our kids ministry up and going when we're able to. And so it's going to be similar to the welcome desk at the bottom right of the image there. And someone actually at the Sioux campus has agreed that they want to serve the church and serve this campus especially and build it themselves. And so if you can get someone to build it, it's a whole lot cheaper. Ideally. And sturdy. Once again, ideally. But yeah, so and then it's important to have kids checking, just attendance, and it's what we do at the Sioux campus, and we want to continue that baby here. Moving forward, around the Welcome Center, Teah, she will be running the kids ministry, wants to have a parent wall of what's happening with the kids programming and whatnot, and what's happening in each of the different age of classes and happening this month, elementary, preschool, and what's happening, so that parents, I know for myself, I want to know what are my kids learning, and so and there's going to be things that parents can take and like two parents and get to know what they're learning, so that when parents ask, hey, what did you learn in Sunday school? It's like, about Jesus. It's like, no, I have the cue card. What exactly did you learn about Jesus? And going on from there. And so that's just a fun little update that we want to include just to help the parents, especially as we continue to grow. So outside updates, as you can see, it's beautiful outside. We have some updates that we want to do. First one is a fresh coat of paint on the white church. We want to honor the church as that you guys before the amalgamation, but the Echo Bay Community Church logo is painted hugely on that building, and so we want to just update and get a nice coat of white paint on, just to update it. That's the only thing happening to that building. Moving on. As you guys may have seen at our Sioux campus, we have a sign, and we want to get a similar sign here. It probably might not be illuminated like the one in the Sioux campus, but that's okay. And we actually had someone come earlier this week.
What day was it? Yesterday? 2 days ago?
It was 2 days ago. No, 3 days ago. Today's Sunday.
Wednesday,
Yeah. So a gentleman came to see what he could do and move on with that, because we want there to be a road sign, because I don't know how many times I've ripped right past this road and then had to do the circle back and come back and like, oh my goodness. So for the time being, the same gentleman that is doing the welcome sign, the welcome desk, he has volunteered some of his time to make a small sign, small tripper sign, so that it's called a tripper, but it's just a small road sign. It's one of those spinning ones, so that people know that the summit is here. And then moving forward, we want to get a sign similar to this design at our Sioux location.
Just painted on the side of the white church.
That's a great idea. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Or you could use the sign that's over there.
Yeah. Well, I think the plan was to actually build, we use it as a frame and then build around it with more weather-resistant materials and whatnot.
He's
We-
sending
Work
us.
with the one that's there. The one that's there is terrible.
Okay.
So
So,
we use the lumber.
okay. Good to know. Very good to know. We want to relocate the children's playground that is behind the white church, just for the kids' safety. I think we want to locate it probably,
Closer to the building.
closer to the building, whether it's on this side or that side, because that's probably that side, because it's just a longer haul for parents, and we want to be able to, if there's a gathering here post our service, if parents are just hanging out, fellowshipping like we do as Christians, kids want to play, and so if there's a playground that at least you can see if your kid is falling off the playground, at least you can see them as far. I mean, you can see that, but it's a closer view, and just in case you have to run and save your kid from attacking your other kid. I don't know. Kids are, they're random. So they're wild, and so whatever they make it. So like relocating it closer to the building for the children's safety. And then, that's it. And so, as we mentioned, first of all, thank you so much for giving us about a half hour of your time. I really appreciate it. And as mentioned, we are recording it. We are going to release the video as soon as I'm done doing a quick edit. And so that if you guys want to watch back, like game tape in sports, you can, and just like, I want to ask these questions, or I have a concern or a comment about this, you can do that. And then on Wednesday evening, if you're able to, we're going to have a Zoom call. I'm still figuring out the time, and then as soon as I know the time, I'll send out the invitation like we've done in the past. And if you're unable to make the Zoom call, we'll reach out to you and give you a call so that you guys, and also you guys watching, will be able to express your comments, questions, and concerns, because we want to hear them. We want you guys to be part of the conversation as we move forward as a Summit Echo Bay. Okay? Thank you guys so much for your time, and I hope you guys have a great Sunday, and please go eat some good food.